Welcome to a new series on the themes and challenges we find in the syllabus for Legal Studies Preliminary and HSC courses. We're going to start with the preliminary course, Part 1, the legal system. But what do we mean by themes and challenges? Well, according to Dr. Google, a theme is an idea that recurs in or pervades a work of art or literature. For this example, we're looking for themes within the topic. A challenge, on the other hand, is a task or situation that tests someone's abilities. In our case, that someone is the legal system. Here's the syllabus at the start of the topic where we see themes and challenges to be incorporated throughout this topic. Let's go through each one and discuss it. Firstly, the need for law in the operation of society. One way of thinking about this theme is switching it around. What would happen in a situation if the law didn't exist? Or to put it more simply, in what ways does the law help society function? For example, it could be a deterrent against criminal behaviour. It could provide justice for those who are oppressed. It can also act as a set of standards for what society believes to be ethical and just. Next, we have the importance of the rule of law for society. Remember, the rule of law is the concept that there are well-established and set out laws which apply to absolutely everyone in society. A helpful question when you're thinking about the theme of the rule of law in society is, in what ways do we need it? Remember, before the rule of law, it used to be might is right. Whoever was the most powerful was able to do whatever they wanted. So ultimately, the rule of law protects the vulnerable in society. This is a good point to talk about the effectiveness of our legal system. For example, why does it always seem to be the case that the rich do better when dealing with the law and minorities seem to do worse? Next, we have the relationship between different legal institutions and jurisdictions. As the legal system is quite complicated and is made up of a whole bunch of different legal institutions and jurisdictions, how well do they relate to each other? For example, do the courts and social services work together very much? Do they form plans about different people that are in vulnerable situations? Do they collaborate? For example, the children of drug addicts. How well do different legal institutions, community services, the court system for example, work and collaborate together to help these kids out? We're also looking at different jurisdictions. So, for example, different crimes are dealt with by different courts. If you're accused of drug trafficking over state lines, you'll be dealt with federally. Next, the development of law as a reflection of society. It's a key tenet of the law that it's supposed to reflect society. By this, we mean the law is supposed to reflect society's ethics and beliefs. So this theme asks the question, well, how did that come about? And how does the law reform when we change as a society? An example of this might be the decriminalisation of marijuana, which is being used for medicinal purposes for those with terminal illnesses. Or you could look at reforms that are needed to the legal system because of increasing technological capabilities. How we use them reflects what we think about them. Lastly, we have influences on the Australian legal system. Remember, the legal system is made up of people, and these people don't live in a vacuum. So, what influences them, and therefore the system? Another way to put it might be, if the law is ever changing, well, what type of things cause that change, and how and why do they change the system? A good example of this are the king hit laws that were introduced in New South Wales a few years ago. In a prominent case where a king hit resulted in the death of a teenager, a sentence was handed down that was seen by many to be too lenient. This case was followed very closely by the media, who also decried the leniency of the sentence. This media coverage in turn influenced public opinion, which, as always, influenced the politicians, who then introduced into state parliament new mandatory sentencing laws for king hit punches. And this was therefore a strong influence on the Australian legal system, as those mandatory sentencing laws hamper judicial discretion. So there's a quick run through of the themes and challenges we find in Part 1, the legal system of the preliminary course, Legal Studies. If you'd like to see more of these videos or be notified when more relevant videos come out, click on these links. Thanks for watching.